So we had another episode at Beshaped Fitness and Nutrition where we are going to be eating one solid leg session for today. But before we do that, guys, I need to take my supplementation as I want to engage in maximum muscle pumps, muscle retention, blood flow going, getting that performance, getting that strength. As like I mentioned, I want to get an overall leg development and pumped to the max, as legs is one of my weak spots. So I do want to get it out, especially this year, as the conditioning is there, but the size and the volume is what I do lack. So, boom, pump stop, PNS, blood flow, guys, like I mentioned, controls your blood pressure and just pushes all the nutrients to the right places in your body. So 2 tablets of that, and then, guys, boom, Pro Super Draw. For maximum size, strength, muscle retention, 2 tablets of that. And then our peptide, slip 332. Guys, amazing just for overall oxidation of fat cells and general longevity. So 2 tablets of that pre-training, some water. Let's get them in. Let me do mention I had one solid breakfast of protein, fats, and carbohydrates to also fuel this workout about an hour and a half back. So, guys, now we are going to be mixing my pre-workout, Amanda Labs. Again, a grain for strength, performance, and just for optimal muscle engagement. That's what we want at the end of the day. Literally 1 scoop. Well, it was a bit more than 1, but it's okay. Add some water there. Okay, that's a bit way too less. So guys, when I'm alone and not working as a personal trainer and nutritionist in my own gym, I do enjoy training on my own as well, because then I get to listen to all the old school music out there, like Korn, Slipknot, System of the Down, Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park. Now, all my favorite old school music just to get it going. So while I'm shaking this up, guys, as you see here, my ultra amino acids. I did not mix it up right now, as this is my intro workout / post workout. So when I get about halfway through my workout, I start mixing this to start getting in that amino acid, to start getting a glutamine in, start getting an electrolytes in, to keep my body as hydrated as possible, and just keep feeding my body with optimal nutrition. And guys, to stay anabolic and to increase the protein synthesis for when I'm having my meals post-training. So, this is a tropical flavor, guys. I think it's shaked up. I think it's perfectly shaked. Wow, I forgot to add a middle part, but I think it's shaked. So, boom, let's go for legs. So we're over to our first exercise of legs, and I decided to do lying hamstring curls. The reason for that is to pre-exhaust the hammy completely. Take it out of the way. So when I go over to quads, that is one of my weak spots, because my hammies is overpowering. Then my hammies will not be into play of engaging as much when it comes to quads. So then I will predominantly use more of my quads than I would on my hamstrings. So guys, the first set we're going to be doing is a high repetition, so about 60-70% of your strength ratio, not too light, not too heavy. You need to engage in 15 to 20 reps. Let's go. So I'm putting it on 15 kilos. It's nice and light for the first one, as I said. Now, I'm keeping my feet straight, not toes pointing in, not toes pointing out, as today's goal is not to focus on hammies and glutes, where I usually would point inside or outside to work and engage more on the inner and outer hammies. But because I'm doing an overall leg development today, I'm engaging in overall hamstring engagement. So besides the lying hamstring curls, I will still be doing later dumbbell or cable stiff-legged deadlifts. So you see my focus and my control, time and attention as much as possible. Slowly down, squeeze in the contraction phase, and just focus on that time and attention and to engage as much muscle tension as possible. Fuck, I must say, my pre-workout is kicking in right now. Why? Because I'm getting the fucking itches. Let's go one more. Boom. So we try to rest 60 to 90 seconds. And when we're doing more of a compound movement, like heavy squats or leg press, we tend to go up to 120 to rest a bit more, to refill that glycogen, to get more energy and strength back. But so I'm moving up with 2 plates right now. As I mentioned, the first set I was doing high repetition, so I was engaging into the slow twitch fibers, the endurance muscles they call it. So I basically pre-exhausting them, and now I'm going to be targeting the fast twitch fibers. So what I will be doing is I'm going to be incorporating a rest pause. So that means I've increased the weight with 10 kilograms. That's about 5 to 10%. And so what I'm going to be doing is 8 to 10 repetitions, time and attention, slow and controlled. We're going to rest 10 seconds, and then we're going to push that same weight till failure. And then we're going to rest again, 60 to 90 seconds. Let's go. Now the goal is to put as much tension on the muscle, because we want to exhaust the fast twitch fibers with maximum intensity as possible, but not speed, controlled engagement. Okay, rest 10 seconds. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And push till failure. With the same time and attention, controlled movement. As like I said, we want to engage into that fast twitch fibers as much as possible. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to increase the weight to another 10 kilos. So it's 35. First going to rest our 60 to 90 seconds. And the goal now is we're going to be doing a drop set. So we're still going to be getting the same repetitions of 8 to 12, or maybe a bit more depending on how I feel at each rep. I can maybe push 4 to 6 reps, or only 4 even. But even though the rep range is still in that hypertrophy rep range, we are decreasing the weight each time, meaning we're targeting all the fibers engagement in that to overly put intensity on that muscle. And yeah, that's going to be the third set. Then we're going to be moving over to quads. So guys, let's go. Like I said, 60 to 90 seconds rest, and let's do a drop set. Still, same controlled movement. push for 5. Drop 2 plates. Now remember, even though the weight has dropped with 10 kgs, don't mistake it, the muscle is exhausted. And for it feels 200% engagement. Drop down to 15, what we started with. Still same controlled, same speed, same movement, and put as much time and attention. First exercise that I'm seeing stars. But guys, it's not about the amount of reps, the amount of sets. It's about engaging in each muscle fiber to its full potential to get results. Boom. Let's go to quads. And we are going to be doing Swift machine squats, and I am going to be supersetting it with dumbbell goblet squats. So we're not going to be doing high reps here. We're not going to be doing drop sets, no rest pauses, but we are going to be doing supersets. So I'm engaging in different muscle activation. So the Swift machine will be behind the back, on the neck, and where the goblet squat will be in front, and just different engagements. We'll be doing 3 sets, and the goal is to hit 8 to 12 repetitions. Still focus on controlled movement. Engage core in all times. Always push through the heels. So this one, I'm going to have a slightly wider stance and not as narrow as on the Swift machine. Same as I said, core engaged. Think of your elbows touching your knees through the heels. Whew. So guys, because we're doing a superset, and not like on the first exercise on hammies, single exercise, we're doing 2 here. Our rest period is not going to be 60 to 90 seconds, but slightly longer. As number 1, we're engaging into more muscle activation. Number 2, we're using 2 compound movements. So it takes more glycogen, more oxygen, and requires a longer rest period in order to do the next set 2 and set 3 with proper form, proper engagement, and just to get that energy back that's needed. So let's take a sip of water. Guys, remember to stay hydrated. And After this exercises, I'll be mixing the amino acids sorry for that cough. So about a week back, I was a little bit sick, and but not now. It's just the oxygen build-up, and obviously the veins, oxygen flow, blood flow, but body is 100% correct. Also, hence why I'm not increasing the weight, even though we can, and still do 6 to 8 reps. I'm keeping the weight the same and trying to rather engage in the same muscle activation and keep the exhaustion on the quads. As I mentioned, hammies is not into play here, so full engagement is now on quads. Whew. I'm definitely going to feel this session. So, even though we're doing superset, it doesn't necessarily mean yes directly after one another. It is after each other, means to engage in different activations. But even if you take a 30 to a 40-second break like I'm doing now, just recuperate your oxygen, but not too much that you lose, and still take the same rest period afterwards. Whew. As I mentioned, I'm definitely going to feel this session. So as I said, 90 to 120. So, the whole plan this year, sorry for that, besides everything that's going on right now, work, business, marriage life, trying to balance everything out, still studying further, the goal is to step on stage again this year in a completely different weight, but to focus more on symmetry, volume in the weak spots, because I can't focus on size anymore, as due to not having a gallbladder, so my body can't digest the fats and the carbs at high amounts anymore, so it means my liver is working twice as much. So it means I have to sacrifice, pain, discomfort over nutrients, and at the end of the day, it's not worth it because I end up throwing up everything. So I'm changing my nutrition structure. Yes, I know I'm resting a bit longer on my last set, but just to get us out, I'm focusing on changing the structure in more frequently smaller meals, anything between 6 and 8 meals, consisting of balanced vegetables, fruits, good carbohydrates, proteins, not high in fats, limit red meat as much as possible, by focusing on essential nutrients that is needed so my body can still function, still perform, still get the results, but not have the negative effect on my health. So guys, let's push for that third set before we go over to the next exercises. Let's go. Okay, so I can feel I'm exhausted. And as I mentioned last week, being sick is still restricting me with the oxygen. So rather not overdo it, but I still managed the 7 reps out there. So I'm just going to take about 20-30 second rest on this, just to recuperate the blood flow. Always go as your body can handle. Woo! So that's the second pair of exercises on our leg routine for today. First one was lying hamstring curls to pre-exhaust the hamstrings. Then we moved over to 2 compound movements and to engage in quad development. Obviously we still use the hamstrings, but we're not fully just engaged in the hammies and not into the quads. So now we're going to move over to the leg press, where we will be doing it as a single exercise, and we'll be hitting the 10 to 15 rep mark to keep it into the hypertrophy rep range. Boom. Let's go, guys. Like I said, leg press. We're not going to go too heavy, about 120. And as I said, halfway we're going to have our ultra amino acids, guys, to get back our electrolytes, our BCAAs, our glutamine. Just refill the body again with all the nutrients it needs to keep on performing and to recover. But it's going to be a single exercise. We're not going to be supersetting it with nothing. But on the 4th round of exercises, we are going to be doing supersets again. So we're going to be doing 3 sets over here. And we're going to try to push only 10 to 15 repetitions. Let's first take a few sips. Yo, I do enjoy pineapple pine. Woo! Let's go, guys. Feet about shoulder width apart. Focusing, engaging only on the quads. Push through the heels. So, as I said, between 10 and 15 reps. So I managed to push 12, and my legs are already exhausted from the previous exercises. So the reason why I say between is to engage anything between which you can do without injuring yourself. So I'm not going to be increasing the weight. I'm going to in fact be keeping it there, and I'll try to keep the rep range between the 8 and 12 now. As I said, the first one 10 to 15, but I only managed to push 12 reps. So on the next one, 60 to 90 seconds rest, I'm going to try to engage at least, like I said, 8 to 12 reps. Still staying in that hypertrophy rep range. Like I said, by now, the legs are exhausted, guys. And after this, I'm still a full leg engagement. I need to go isolate on leg extensions and dumbbell stiff-legged deadlifts to focus on the stretch of the hammies and the overall isolation of the quads. But then we're not done yet. One more exercise after that. Let's go. Keep focused. Keep focused on your goal, no matter how long it takes. And remember, even if I use my hands here, and if I use my hands up, the up movement is not important. That's 20% muscle engagement. What is important is against gravity. So if you assist yourself up, don't feel like you are cheating, as long as you control the negative movement down in the eccentric movements. I'm going to assist the last few. Woo! 60 to 90 seconds, guys. Let's rest. Get some blood flow going. Whew. Now guys, a lot of people will have increased the weight. You know, a lot of times it's just ego lifting as well. But the goal now is not to have progressive overload in the sense of increasing weight, but it's rather to have progressive overload in maximum muscle engagement. So I'm training so hard that even my speech is going. So on this one I'm going to rest a little bit longer, about 120 seconds, up to 2 minutes, and then engage in that last set here. Keep it focus. Woo! So I managed 10, yeah? And I'm not gonna lie. I would want to say I'm done with the session, but we still have work to do. And we don't give up when we feel like giving up. We get the work done and that's it. So let's move over to leg extensions, and stiff-legged deadlifts. Keep pushing, guys. So, we're over to our fourth round of legs. And as I mentioned, this one's going to be a superset again. So, we are going to be doing isolating leg extensions, 8 to 12 repetitions, to isolate the quads, as now the legs are pretty much exhausted. And we are going to be supersetting it with dumbbell stiff-legged deadlifts, same 8 to 12, just to focus on that stretch. Keep the time and attention, controlled movement, and all we need is 8 to 12. As I mentioned, guys, the legs are pretty much exhausted now. And like I said, I'm supersetting it now with dumbbell stiff-legged deadlifts. Make sure your knees are slightly bent as you go down. Focus on that stretch. And up. Don't need to go all the way up, as we're not doing a lower back movement, even though it feels like incorporating the erector spinae muscle. But our main focus is the stretch in the hamstring. And to feel all engagement only on the hamstrings. As you can see, my legs are shivering. As I said, I'm pretty much exhausted and the body is feeling it. So we are doing a superset. So it's normal to rest a bit longer, but I'm not increasing the weight. As I mentioned previously, progressive overload does not necessarily mean just increasing weight. It means increasing tension, each set progressing to the same rep range with the same weight. Even if it means you just can only do lower reps in the second or third set, but the same weight, it's still maximum muscle engagement. Progressive overload can be seen in many ways and forms, and not just in increase in weight. But if you can increase the weight, and you do increase the weight, always increase it with a 5 to 10% of weight increase and never more. Also to prevent injury and just not to have ego lifting you. Okay, 8 to 12. Focus, controlled movements. Maximum engagement. And the last few I'm going to pump out just to get some blood flow, even if it's partial reps. Guys, I'm going to feel this section in the next 2-3 days. Let's focus on the 8 to 10 reps. So, let me get my towel. Just wipe the sweat out of my face. So guys, one more set. We're going to keep the rep range the same. And then after this, we're going to be going over to our final round of exercise, where I'll be finishing off on machine adductors. And we will call it a day for legs. So let's go. It's our last final session on leg extensions and stiff-legged deadlifts. Woo! Let's go, our final set. Guys, not gonna lie, I'm definitely feeling this session. And always put in maximum intensity. Even if you don't feel like it, you're demotivated, feel like shit, feel like giving up, fuck it, just keep going. You know, life throws obstacles. It's how you deal with them. How do you manage them? And besides, exercise always has been a great form of releasing anxiety, releasing stress, helped with depression. Woo! Guys, let's go adductors. So we are finally over to our final exercise of legs. And guys, we're going to be ending this off on adductors, you know, working the outer part. We're going to focus on engaging 3 sets of 15 repetitions, focusing on a squeeze. As much time on attention as possible. As a lot of guys neglect these exercises, you know, as they think it's for females only. But in fact, guys, on stage, these muscles makes a tremendous difference when you look at overall symmetry, conditioning, proportion, and just to have an overall well-developed physique. Now, you do not need to go very heavy. Focus on the contraction. As I said, the legs are already finished. It's tired. And at the last few reps, you can pump it out just to get some oxygen in. Whew. Let's rest there. 60 to 90 seconds. Just increase by 1. As I already can feel the tension there. So guys, it's going to be a single exercise again. As the first one, we just did isolated hamstrings. We did compound, on compound, superset with squats movements. We did single movement again on leg press. We did supersets again on leg extensions and stiff-legged. And now on the final one, we're doing a single exercise again, you know, just to isolate and focus on the primary muscle engagement we want to focus on now. As I said, overall legs are already done. It's tired. So we're basically engaging in that last bit of energy we have from this morning's awesome breakfast my wife made. Pancakes, toast, eggs. Obviously I had my water. I have to stay hydrated as much as possible, and my coffee, obviously, guys. Just focus on that engagement as much as you can. So the music has went off, but it's fine. We're anyway on our final round of exercises. Push for one more. And let's rest. 60 to 90 seconds. And then we engage in that last set. And we're pretty much done for legs for the day. So as I mentioned in my previous videos, that I am preparing to step on stage again this year. And going to try obviously 2 different categories, going into what they pushed me into last year, the bodybuilding, and then also the category that was being taken away as muscle model, but now obviously will be into physique. So I will just have to wear the shorts now instead of the muscle model pants. Even though I've got well-developed legs, the new physique shorts at least does show slightly on the quads and the development of it. But I will be doing both categories, 2 different federations, to see which one I will be excelling it in as, not federation, but into the category that will be best suited for me. As I said, focus on that time and attention, guys, as much as possible, as we want full muscle engagement and not just to rush every set and every rep. I think I will call that a leg session for today. So guys, go check me out on my YouTube channel. Also, and go follow me on my Instagram page. Need any help in well structuring your training programs, your nutrition programs? It's what I do as a qualified personal trainer and nutritionist for the past 17 years, is helping clients and people with well-structured, balanced programs to fit their lifestyles, to fit their sports, and to engage into it and to make it part of their life and not have to struggle to reach things. And just keep pushing, keep focused. And what do I say about it? Boom, let's bump it out.